When people think about worship, they often picture a church service with music and people singing. I think worship is a lot more than that. And so we're going to look at lots of different ways that I think we can express our worship to God, body, soul, and mind. Well, hello everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me in the ways that we're just looking at worship and exploring on how that looks on a daily basis. So we've looked at silence, we've looked at affirmation, we looked at visualization, and really those are just spiritual exercises that we're applying to our life to hopefully help our life of worship just grow and flourish. And so today I want to talk to you about one of these spiritual exercises, and it involves our body. And specifically, God made us body, soul, and mind, and we're going to focus on the body today because we've been talking a lot about the mind and how that connects us spiritually to God. Number one is we connect with God as we use our body physically to worship God and honor Him. So that can come as easy as clapping our hands during singing, or raising our hands to God in a form of surrender, or kneeling, or even lying prostrate on the floor just to show honor and respect as we use our body. And there's lots of different verses that kind of explain different ways and postures that we've seen throughout the Bible. As we use our body, it helps us connect mentally and spiritually to what God is doing. The second aspect of us looking at the body through worship is that really God has called us to care for our bodies. And so we are made of, like I said, body, soul, and spirit. That makes up a third of who we are. And I think we are called to care for our bodies. And so this is something that probably isn't talked about as much from the pulpit, but I think it's something that the Bible speaks about. And Paul even speaks about that in 1 Timothy, where he says, hey, there is some gain in training the body, but there's more gain in training for godliness. And so I don't think that excludes that we don't care for our bodies and just slough it off and say, oh, it's gonna burn, it's gonna die, it doesn't matter. I think that it's an opportunity for us to care for the body. And he also says in 1 Corinthians that our bodies are this temple of the Holy Spirit. And so we have to care for these things and be mindful of what we do with them. And I think what we put in them. And so that could be visually and physically what we put in them. So I really want to challenge all of us that we are caring for our bodies in the way that God has called us to. Now, that we don't want to make them the ultimate object of our worship, and we don't need to try to perfect them, but it is important that we care for them and do it in a biblical way. So I think that doing really simple things like make sure you're getting good rest, that you're getting some exercise, and that you're eating well are ways that we can take care of our body. And I think that really fuels and catapults us into better opportunities for our minds and spiritually. So I know for me, getting out and running and being outside, or going to the climbing gym and climbing and just being active helps my brain just, I think, operate on way better level. And then I notice that in my spiritual time when I'm with God, that I have a better concentration, I have a better focus on what I'm doing and what I'm meditating on and what I'm processing or learning in the scriptures. So when we can find a way to let our body have its opportunity to grow and train, and our mind its opportunity to grow and train, it allows our spirit to really flourish, and we have all three really firing on all cylinders, and that's a beautiful thing. And so that is what I wanted to encourage you with today, is we need to take our bodies seriously and take care of them. So I want to encourage you to do that. Find ways to get good rest, good exercise, and good healthy diet in your life. And then 2, try those different postures out that we talked about, and just get involved with worship physically, because I think you'll see a really neat connection as we allow ourselves, our bodies, to become a part of this daily rhythm, this daily cadence of worship to God. So I hope this is encouraging you. I'd love to hear from you guys on what you try. Maybe you try out some new postures in worship. Maybe you try to clean up your diet. Maybe you try to get out and do a little more exercise. Or maybe you're just going to bed earlier so you can get more sleep and better rest. All those things are super important as we honor God with our bodies. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'd love to help. So God bless you guys, and we'll talk to you soon.